यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ स्थूलशरीरं किम् पञ्चीकृतपञ्चमहाभूतैः कृतम् सत्कर्मजन्यं सुखदुःखादिभोगायतनं शरीरम् अस्ति जायते वर्धते विपरिणमते अपक्षीयते विनश्यतीति षड्विकारवत् एतत् स्थूलशरीरम्। So etat sthula shariram, this is the gross body. So because it is there, right there, so and it's the object of perception, so it is said etat. Etat means this, pratyaksha gocharam. So this body is panchikrita panchamahabhutaihi kritam. Kritam means made. This body is made of panchikrita panchamahabhutaihi, made up of grossified 5 basic elements. Satkarma janyam, born due to good karmas. Then it is said sukha dukkhadi bhogayatanam, and well, it's an counter, it's a tenement, it's a place for enjoyment of experience of pleasure and pain. Then bhogayatanam shariram, then says asti jayate vardhate viparinamate apakshiyate vinashyati iti षड्विकारवत् shariram again. So this is which has a 6-fold modifications, such as it exists and then it is born, it grows, it undergoes change, it becomes adult, and it degenerates and perishes. Etat sthula shariram, this is the gross body. This is the definition of gross body. Just a minute, somebody. So this is a gross body, that's the definition. Now from this definition, we have to understand this Atma, which is just distinct from this Sthula Shariram. And therefore we have to take all these factors and show that Atma is not this, Atma is not this. And that is how, please give up the identification with the body as a self. That's what it means. And a very basic line for us is that the knower, I, is the place where you can place your I sense. Please understand this. You place your I sense in the knower always. And anything known, being an object of your knowledge, well, it cannot be the recipient of the I sense. On the other hand, it will be the object of this sense. And so this is how both known and unknown object becomes the recipient of this sense. Well, idam pratyaya vishaya we call it also. So any object of a knowledge never enjoys I sense. Well, this is our punchline, they call. So this is the very basic understanding. In order to have a discriminative inquiry between the gross body and Atma. Well, we'll go by definition, and I will try to show you, see that Atma is just distinct from the gross body. The definition which has been given of the gross body, well, Atma is just distinct. And if you can refer also the definition of Atma, in which the very first part is a negation, in which it has been told sthula sukshma karana sharirat vyatiriktah. In that also we are taking right now sthula sharirat vyatiriktah, distinct from the gross body. Now let's take the first part as a sukha dukkhadi bhogayatanam shariram. Right? Sukha dukkhadi bhogayatanam shariram, that is shariram, sthula shariram. And Atma is distinct from this. Means Atma is not a tenant. Atma is not a counter to interact with the world, to encounter the world. Well, and that is very simple to understand. In fact, in Shastra or at all the places, the body has been described at either as a city or either as a resident place. As I told you, it's a tenement. So it is been always described like this, even in the Bhagavad Gita, even in Kathopanishad, everywhere. Ekadasha puradvaram ajasya vakrachetasah, etc., etc. in Kathopanishad. Bhagavad Gita also, navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. This is a city of 9 gates. Or this is a house with 9 doors and windows. Either way, you can say, either way. There are certain windows and there are certain doors. From window you can see outside. You cannot go outside. And door is something through which you can go out and come back also. Well, and at some places are, you can think over, some of the places are such here. Well, you can come up to the window, but you cannot go out. Well, the eyes, always go out and contact the object. So eye is called a door. Well, and this sense organ, this of a smell, it doesn't go out. It comes up to this. And the object has to come near. It cannot take that. And therefore, but Swamiji, if object doesn't come near, still I get a good smell. Correct. But then good smell has to come. Nose cannot go out. We should understand this thing. Even the sound also, it will be like this. The sound waves have to travel and come up to this. So means these are the gates. These are the windows where you can come up to the window and look outside. That's all. You cannot go out there. This is a window. This is a door. So this is how, like that, they say this is a house. Well, it has a certain doors and certain windows. And definitely one who resides in the house is not the house. Definitely not. That's for sure. And therefore, that's how Bhagavan always used the word Dehi. We have already come across this word in Bhagavad Gita. Dehi means Dehaha asya asti iti Dehi. Or they use sometime the word for this conscious being as a Purushaha. Purau shete iti Purushaha. One who resides in this Nagari. Puri means a Nagari or the city. So either you call city with the doors, either you call house with the doors and windows, whatever you say. But body has been always described, a place in which this conscious being stays. Why it resides in the body? In order to experience pleasure and pain. Just as you are in the house to have, you always build a house in order to have a comfort and joy. So same way, this house has been given to me for my experiences of pleasure and pain. And therefore, one who resides in the body, is distinct from the body. How he arrived at this Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Ayatanam. This is Ayatanam, residence, and I am Vyatiriktaha. Ayatanat Vyatiriktaha. Sukha Dukkhadi Bhogayatanat Vyatiriktaha Aham Atma. Aham Purushaha, etc. Now, second part. See, they have told Sukha Dukkhadi Bhogayatanam Shariram. Now let's take Shariram word and let's show the Atma is distinct from the body. What is the definition of Shariram? We have seen that. Shariram means, Shru means to disintegrate, to decay, etc. And Shiryamana Swabhavatvat Shariram, we have seen that also, which disintegrates. What can disintegrate? Parts can disintegrate. Parts joint and parts disintegrate. So, body is something which is made up of parts. Body is something which is made up of parts put together intelligently to serve a purpose. Whole thing you have to put. Once you say it's parts, anything you can pick up. Even if you don't know parts, you should definitely, with boldness, you should say this, that anything, any object, any known thing or a knowable thing for you, any object of knowledge is always made up of parts, and they are put together intelligently in order to serve a certain purpose. And therefore, any object of knowledge must be having a form. That's for sure. Any object of knowledge which has a parts is definitely having a shape, a form, a dimension. Well, the subject, the Atma, is not an object of knowledge, object of consciousness. Consciousness cannot be the object of consciousness. Well, and also, I am spatially limitless. I am not limited in space. And therefore, I am formless. I am formless. If I am formless, I have no parts. And therefore, there is no question of disintegration of parts also. And therefore, this is how you should do the distinction. Body made up of parts undergoes disintegration. But how you have come across Swamiji, body is made up of parts? Shariram, Shiryamanatvat Shariram. Which disintegrates is called Shariram. Well, if it disintegrates, then definitely the parts are, getting separated. Whatever the constituents, you can tell even in terms of even chemistry also, you can tell the elements separated. Or you can tell in terms of biology also, the cells got separated, because the bunch of cells combined together, intelligently put together to serve a certain purpose is called Shariram. And therefore, this body, whatever the way you look, any model you can take, or the 5 our basic elements. 5 elements, they are the parts, they are put together in a certain fashion, intelligently they are put together in order to serve a certain purpose, and therefore body is definitely having parts, it has a form, etc., etc., and it can disintegrate. Well, I am spatially limitless. I am limitless. I am not limited in space. Swamiji, how can you say I am not limited in space? Care of yesterday's class or care of previous classes? That's how I had to tell, because so much we have discussed regarding that. So we have, in fact, that's our conclusion, that I am limitless consciousness. We have derived it also, and therefore please kindly refer in case if you have forgotten. Well, anyway, so I am definitely. I am limitless in terms of space. Therefore, I have no form. If I have no form, I have no parts. And therefore, I am not subject to disintegration. Well, Shariram is subject to this disintegration. The word Shariram indicates that, well, I am not subject to disintegration. I am changeless, etc., etc. So, I am free from any change. That also you can say. And that way, I am distinct from the gross body. This is second. Now, here itself we will extend further. This body has certain attributes. And all the attributes of body, Not only that I take myself as a body, that is one thing. In technical language, they call it as a dharmi adhyasaha. Dharmi, one who holds the attributes, one who holds different attributes, is the abode of all the attributes is called dharmi, and the attributes are called dharmas. So basically, this is called dharmi adhyasaha. Well, I take the body as myself is dharmi adhyasaha. Then attributes of body also I take it as a myself. That is called dharma adhyasaha. The superimpositions are of two kinds. So first I take myself as a body, and then second thing is all the attributes of the body also I take it as a myself. And for that matter, you have to think like that. You should take an example in your mind that I am like a crystal, pure, without any attributes called color, etc. And the body is like a flower. Let's say a red rose or something. And therefore, as the red rose, etc., as this rose, imparts, everywhere as though. We have learned yesterday evening as though, everything as though, except me, Swamiji, I am also as though. No, don't say that. You are not as though, sir. You are the reality. Everything is as though. What is mithya? Swamiji, what is mithya? As though. What is as though is mithya. Therefore, as though pot, as though sunrise, as though ring, as though, everything as though. That's all it is. Anyway, let's okay. But then, what I am saying is, I am like a crystal, and this body is like a rose. And rose, as though its color, red color, as though imparts on the this crystal, and crystal appears red. Crystal being colorless appears red. Same way, the attributes of the body are like the color of the flower, and as the color the flower imparts its color as though on the crystal, same way the attributes are as though appear in the self, and that is it, the Atma. And therefore, I am tall when I say. I am tall, I am short, I am fair, I am black, etc., etc. I am fat, I am thin, I am human being, I am male. I am right now talking just in terms of gross body. Then when subtle body comes, we'll take something else. So definitely, I am fat, I am thin, I am healthy, I am not, I am ill. This is also in terms of physical body. So I am a householder, I am sannyasi, etc., etc. All these attributes are like colors and as though imparted on Atma. Well, Atma is still like the crystal, as crystal remains colorless even though it appears red. Same way, I, the Atma, remains free from the attributes even though they appear in me. Since I have taken the body as a self, but how can you take the body as a self? Because body is non-separate from the self, and there is a self-ignorance and self-consciousness also. Being conscious of myself, whatever was in front I have taken, whatever was non-separate from me, I have taken it as myself. And therefore, since I have taken the body as a self, attributes of the body also are superimposed upon the self. Well, then I am tall. Is it not a truth? No. What's the baseline? See again. Whatever is known will never have a I sense. That's all. That's a punchline. Please keep always thing in mind. Whatever is known, whatever is knowable can never have a I sense. It will always have this sense or non-I sense. That's all. And therefore, tallness of the body is known to me. Health of the body is known to me. Gender of the body is known to me. A particular kind of a body, like say human body, is known to me. And therefore, Illness is known to me. Color of the body is known to me. Height of the body is known to me. It is exactly, and still if you don't get a clarity, just think any object other than the body. Take any other object which is very tall in your mind. Think of an Empire State Building or something. This is Empire State Building with a big height. It's an object of my knowledge. Well, what is object of knowledge? Object of what is evident to me, what is object of my knowledge, definitely is not me. So I never take this Empire State Building as myself. Same way body is tall, it is also object of knowledge. In fact, it is closer object of the knowledge, and therefore I am not tall. I am not this, etc., etc., etc. You can take that. Could you follow what I am saying? This is how we should take it. So in Shariram itself, you can take all these things, and you can have a Nididhyasanam like this kind of a thing. Then let's go ahead. Further it is said, Sukha Dukkhadi Bhogayatanam, we have seen that. Then Shariram also we have seen. Now let's take Shad Vikaravat. Shad Vikaravat. Body is Shad Vikaravat. Shad Vikaravat Sthula Shariram. As actually Shad Vikaravat is an adjective to the Sthula Shariram. That's how it's a neuter. If it is a masculine, it would be Shad Vikaravan. It would be Shad Vikaravan, like Bhagavan. Word is Bhagavat. But since it is a masculine word, the Prathama Vibhakti Ekvachanam will be Bhagavan. Bhagavan, Bhagavanto, Bhagavantaha, Bhagavantam, Bhagavanto, Bhagavataha, etc. These are the Rupani. These are the forms. Anyway, so this is here Shad Vikaravat has been told neuter because it's an adjective to the body, Shariram, and Shariram is a neuter word. Shariram, Sharire, Sharirani, Phalam, Phale, Phalani, Vat. So this is how it is. So Shad Vikaravat, this body has this sixfold modification, and I, who is distinct from the body, has no modification. What are the modifications? Asti, Jayate, etc. See the birth and death, etc. Of course, we have seen that which declines, disintegrates, etc. We have seen that part. And Jayate, for that matter, you can take it. It's a very big topic. We have discussed this in the verse number 12 of Bhagavad Gita. If you can go through, because there I have given so many arguments, which I have to unnecessarily repeat here, so I am not taking that. But Janma also of Atma, Janma of Atma can never be proved. Can never be proved. And therefore, to prove any phenomena in the world, a consciousness is required. To have an existence of a phenomena, that there is something happening or something happened or something will happen, for that matter, consciousness is required. So even the phenomena of a birth of a Atma is definitely proven by Atma only. Atma has to be there before the birth of Atma. Well, how it is possible? And therefore, no one can prove the birth of Atma. Everyone can prove the birth of body. The Janma of a Atma can never be proved. Same way, even the death also cannot be proved. Well, we have seen all these things in the verse number 12. Many arguments we have presented there. Anyway, so here this sixfold modifications, out of that I am taking in between. See, Asti also cannot be told with the Atma. Cannot be. That is how one gentleman, we asked some day before yesterday, he asked in the 13th chapter that he said Bhagavan denied this Atma is not Sat and not Asat also. It is correct. It is correct. Atma, I have of course told there as a manifest and unmanifest, etc. But we should understand Atma is not Sat. Sat means existent and Asat means non-existent. Existent, non-existent can be always with respect to objects. Because object has a status called existent. Object will have a status in future as a non-existent. And therefore Sat and Asat, existent and non-existence, can go with the objects of knowledge. It cannot be with the Atma which is which nature is Sat. We have to say otherwise, like pot is, cloth is, table is, computer is, and we have to tell Atma is. You should not tell, because Atma means is, and therefore Atma means is, and if you say Atma is, means is. Hey, what is this? And therefore, therefore Sat, Asat, those kind of adjectives are with respect to objects, because they are the states. They are the states. Once any object which is born, you attach a adjective to that, existent child, existent anything, clip. Because when the clip is born, then only you can attach this asti. Otherwise you cannot. And therefore, I am not asti. I am very existence. I am not adjective. I am substantive existence. And therefore, substantive is existence, then adjective existent cannot be applied to that. Existent existence, what is this? And it cannot be asat also. What is pure existence, self-existence, will never have asat. Non-existent, that kind of a state will never come. And therefore, this is also a meaning. I'm telling this gentleman doesn't, I think he is not there right now, but I think through Prabodh Bhai, I think I'm giving the message to him. That also can be told, this asat and asat cannot be told to, those adjectives should be applied to the Atma, which is just self-existence thing. It is which nature is existence. Whatever has a nature of existence, for that you need not write is. Whatever has a borrowed existence, well, definitely right now you should put the adjective existent. Well, it will become non-existent later on. So this is how it has been told. Anyway, this is, by the way, so Shad Vikaravat means let's take this childhood, youth, and then adulthood, and then old age, etc. So, well, these are the states of body. I am the one. The fact is that a old person is able to talk about his a past accomplishment starting from the young age. That itself shows that he is a witness of all the states of his body. In fact, his voice has changed. Earlier his voice was a very different. Now his voice even also is certainly no longer the same voice of a childhood or of a young age, but I remains the same. His body also has transformed, but still he remains the same. So one who was in childhood is the one who was in youth, is the one who was adult, and he is the one who is now old. So I does not change at all, even though the states, childhood, youth, etc., and adulthood, etc., and now the old age, of course. So all these states keep changing, but the I, who is a witness of all the states, remain the same. And therefore, body is definitely Shad Vikaravat. Body has undergone any different kinds of changes, modifications. I am changeless. I, the consciousness, was present in childhood, was present in young age, was present in adulthood, as an adult, and now the same I is old. I have that, I can tell very well that there is a continuity of I in all the states. That is how I am able to describe anything of the past. That shows that I have remained as a witness of that state. So although each state is destroyed, I is not destroyed. Childhood has gone. In fact, childhood has gone, but I has not gone. The youth has gone, but I have not gone. So body is said to undergo a metamorphosis. Some people say every 12 years, some people say every 7 years, complete transformation. They call it metamorphosis. Well, it completely transforms, but the I, which is a witness of the body, the consciousness, I, well, it is without any morphosis. No change has taken place. So the birth of the later state does not imply a new birth of a person. And same way, the death of a previous state also, well, it doesn't spell death of the Atma. And therefore, it doesn't spell the death of the Atma. And therefore, these states come and go. Well, Atma remains, the Atma remains same in a given body. Therefore, the Shadvikaravat is a body. I am free from all the states. In fact, I am witness of all the states. This is how it has been told. In fact, that is how in Dakshinamurti Stotram also has been told. Balyadishvapi jagradadishu tatha sarvasvasthasvapi vyavruttasu anuvartamanam, etc., etc. The states vyavrittam, these states keep changing. Anuvartamanam, I am the one who pervades in all the experiences of childhood, all the experience of in the youth, all the experiences of adulthood. Not only in that, also as a child also, all the three states of experience, another Jagrat, Sapna, Shushupti. So this is how all the experience of the past, I have just remained as an invariable presence. And therefore, body has all these vikaras, body has a different states. Well, I am going to talk about states differently, about waking, etc. So we are not going to refer to that. But just for the gross body undergoes this sixfold modification. I do not go under any modification. I am distinct from the gross body. This is how we have to see this. And I think most of the things we have covered. Sat karma janyam, etc. is need not be, because this body is born of a good action, etc. Here we have nothing to talk about. I am not a karta, and you can tell, you can extend that, but we don't want that. But this is enough for to understand the difference between a body, a gross body, and Atma. So we have covered Sthula Sharirat Vyatiriktah Atma. What is that Atma? Satchidananda Swarupaha. This Atma is distinct from the gross body. Now let's go to Sukshma Shariram. Sukshma Shariram Kim Apanchikrita Panchamahabhutaihi Kritam Satkarmajanyam Sukhadukkadi Bhogasadhanam Panchajnanendriyani Panchakarmendriyani Panchapranadayah Manaschaikam Buddhishchaika Evam Saptadashakalabihi Saha Yattishtati Tat Sukshma Shariram. Let's see first the meaning of the words. Yaha apanchikrita panchamohabhutaihi kritam. Yaha, that which is kritam, which is made up of what? Apanchikrita panchamahabhutaihi, which is made up of 5 elements which have not undergone a 5-fold grossification. Apanchikrita is equal to 5-fold grossification. Apanchikrita, which has not undergone not undergone the 5-fold process of grossification. Then Satkarma Janyam, well, it is also born of a good karma, like the gross body. Please compare little bit, if you can remember, just keep comparing. There it was told Panchikrita Panchamahabhutaihi Kritam, which is made up of 5 elements which has undergone 5-fold grossification. Here it is said it has not undergone. But there also said Satkarma Janyam. This is here also said Satkarma Janyam. The gross body and the subtle body both are born of good actions. Then Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam. Well, this subtle body is the means for enjoyment of pleasure and pain. What was there in gross body? Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Ayatanam, which is a counter, which is a resident through which any pleasure and pain enters. The objects of pleasure and pain enters. So, means the entry, well, definitely that's a house. That's a counter to encounter with the world which can give you pleasure and pain. Whereas this one, This subtle body is a means. It is not a counter. It is not a abode or residence. So sukha dukkhadi bhoga sadhanam. Well, this subtle body is a means for enjoyment of pleasure and pain. Once they enter inside, well, these objects of pleasure and pain enter inside, then you require a means to have a pleasure and pain. Okay. And then what this subtle body is made up of? Pancha jnanendriyani, 5 organs of perception. We call sense organs. Pancha karmendriyani, 5 organs of action. Pancha pranadayah, 5 pranas. Pranadayah, pranadayah. Adi means etc. Means prana, apana, vyana, udana and samana. Manascha ekam, cha ekam means add. So plus 1 the mind. Buddhischa eka plus 1 the intellect. Why plus 1? Because this 5, 5, 5. So 15 plus 1 mind 16 plus 1 buddhi intellect. So 17. Well, so evam thus yat tishtati, which remains, which abides, saptadasha kalabhihi saha. So this subtle body is made up of all this, and it abides. It remains as it remains with 17 factors. Saptadasha kalabhi. Kala means such parts also. Shodasha kala purusha. Prashnopanishad says this Atma is Shodasha kala purusha. So his Atma is as though made up of 16 parts. But here, let's say factors. So you can tell even the 16 parts made up of, I mean the subtle body is made up of 16 parts. Well, it is correct. So kala means a part or a limb, you can say. So with 17 factors, tat sukshma shariram, this is the subtle body. So this is how it has been told. Now let's go into the this subtle body. See, the sukshma sharira, I mean the word, it indicates sukshma means it is subtle. That's correct. But this subtle body is a very, very important link between a Atma, that is myself, and the gross body. It provides a link between the two. I mean, consciousness manifests in the subtle body, and through subtle body, it makes even this gross body conscious, sentient. So gross body appears sentient not directly because it gets a consciousness from, it borrows the consciousness from the Atma, but it borrows the consciousness through the subtle body. So subtle body is the link between Atma and the gross body. And subtle, I mean sukshma means subtle. Subtle means not available for physical, perception. And still it's when most of the time it happens so that anything which is not available for perception, we may conclude that that thing is not there. Of course, now we have plenty of examples. Well, it is not available physically for perception, still we know the presence. But this is called subtle because it is not available for physical perception, yet its presence can be inferred. Its presence can be inferred, its presence cannot be missed. And this is how they give always an example of any electrical gadget. If the gadget, suppose a fan is working, refrigerator is working, or light is working, or air conditioner is working, or a vacuum cleaner is working, well, definitely then the presence of electricity can be inferred. You will never see the electricity, but the presence of electricity is always inferred. I mean, you cannot miss. Even though you may not notice, but in your mind you know very well if vacuum cleaner is working right now, well, electricity is there. And the same way, even electricity is very subtle, but still its presence cannot be missed. And if energy is not there, the electricity is not there, well, vacuum cleaner will not work. So this is how the activity of the any electrical gadget, activity of air conditioner, activity of a refrigerator, activity itself makes you to make, I mean, it it makes you capable to infer the presence of electricity. Same way this body is active right now, various things are functioning, able to hear, able to see, able to talk, etc. Inhalation and everything is going on, and I'm feeling hungry, thirsty, this, everything. And therefore, even though the subtle body which is right there inside you cannot see, you can see only this physical body through the perception. But if it is active, physical body is active, you can definitely infer the presence of subtle body inside. This is the second thing. So that is how it is called subtle, not available for perception, still its presence is inevitably there. And well, also we should add this other thing also, which makes which makes the physical body alive, is a subtle body, which makes it alive. Through what, Swamiji, it makes it alive? We are coming, but I can tell you it's just because of prana, because of the vital air, which is the part of the subtle body, makes the body alive. So this Sukshma Sharira is always in keeping with, now we will go further, this Sukshma Sharira is always in keeping with the subtle body. This Sukshma Sharira is always in keeping with the gross body. What that any kind, I mean, a particular kind of a gross body invites a particular kind of a subtle body to be inside. And therefore a subtle body of an octopus and a subtle body of a goat and subtle body of a human being are different. Very, very clear. Subtle body of a tree and subtle body of a human being, different. Subtle body of a monkey and subtle body of a human being, different. Well, we will again divide in further, but first let us understand this much. See, the human psychology is of one type. A psychology of a monkey is of another type. And the psychology of a octopus is a third type. And not only that, the human being, the very distinct character of a human mind is the confusion. This kind of a confusion you won't find in any living being. Confusion means mind. Mind means a subtle body. So the subtle body is very distinct here. Then, in fact, the vasanas, see, we have discussed this partly when we discussed in the verse, I think when we discussed verse number 12 of Bhagavad Gita. See, it happens so, well, of course, there the question, I will just remind you the question there. The question was, nowadays many people believe here, in India especially, here also maybe there, I don't know. Many people believe that once you get a human birth, you will always get a human birth. That's not the case. That's not the case. And we took the help of what has been told by the Bhagavan. Dehantara praptihi, Bhagavan said. Dehantara means you will get another body. Bhagavan did not tell that if once a human body is there, he is going to get again a human body. Bhagavan has not told. Bhagavan has just told you will get a body. That's all. Dehantara prapti. Manushya dehantara prapti, Bhagavan did not say. And therefore, but Swamiji, he is addressing to whom? He is addressing to the human beings. Definitely. So he is telling to human beings that you get a different body. You get a body. But what body you will get, that he has not specified. That shows the human body right now, even if you have got, in the next life you are going to get the human body. Well, that's not the case. Then the question was asked there that, if when he gets a new body, what samskaras will manifest? So then we say the samskaras of that particular gross, according to the gross body, the particular samskaras of the subtle body manifest. Particular samskaras. And therefore, if suppose a person gets a monkey's birth in a next life, he gets a monkey's birth, then this human samskaras will not manifest. Only monkey's samskara manifests there. And therefore, a child, monkey's child, it knows very well that he has to, attach itself to its mother when she's jumping from one branch to other. Nobody taught. There are no nursery schools for the monkeys. They know exactly what is to be done. Where the food will be there, etc. They want to suck some milk, etc. Everything. They know everything. And therefore, and when mother is jumping from the one tree to the other tree or one branch to other branch, if I do not hold my mother properly, I may fall down and I will be subject to death. It will kill me. Everything. How can it occur? And therefore, we say, as per the gross body, the subtle body, here that is mind, samskaras means mind. The subtle body is also appropriate. So the gross body and the subtle body combine very well with each other. That's what we want to say. And therefore, that is how it is just a matter of suppose a human being is there, right, in this life, and in next life he becomes a donkey. Suppose. So it knows exactly that if somebody comes on the backside, he has to kick. Now, this is not there in a human life. He will not kick. If somebody even kicks, we will not call the person as a human being. We'll immediately call with that word. What I am saying is, a particular kind of samskaras only will come out. So, a psychology of a donkey is entirely different, and a psychology of a human being. So, they must have got a appropriate subtle body and with the appropriate gross body. They both combine very well with each other. And that's how the same human being who is having a choice in this life. Choice means there is choiceless choice. Habba, what a choice we have. A single action. You have thousands of choice as a human being. All choice belongs to mind. It doesn't belong to gross body. It belongs to the human mind. The freedom is in the human mind. Part of the subtle body. Please understand this. And so much choice. Even eating, I have told you, I think yesterday. It's one action. Eating. What a choice he has. What to eat, whether to eat or not, and how to eat, and where to eat, and when to eat, and what not. Everything, so much. Well, that's not there. Suppose this human being who is enjoying such a choice in this life, when he dies and the jiva goes to the body of a buffalo, let's say, we don't wish that way, but suppose he goes to a buffalo, then no choice. Buffalo is also eating. What is a choice buffalo? What does choice buffalo has? Well, morning he will eat grass and then water. Evening, first water and then grass. It is the same thing. Same thing. But human being, my God, suppose morning I have eaten a chapati and vegetable. Evening I get only a chapati and vegetable. There itself the murmuring starts. And next day chapati and vegetable. And that too same vegetable like brinjal, etc. So brinjal, vegetable and chapati. Evening vegetable and chapati. Morning, next day. One Mahatma, by the way, I'm laughing, but I could not give you the name because I think if I tell you most of people know this Mahatma. So I'm not giving you name, but when he went to a particular ashram, and in that ashram was near on the bank of a river, and there they used to grow these eggplants very much. They were getting plenty. And if they want another vegetables, they have to, through the bridge, whole railway bridge, they have to cross it and have to go in the city and should get the vegetable. So who will go and all that? So, but okay, let's make eggplant morning, let's make eggplant in the evening, next day also morning eggplant, evening also eggplant. And this Mahatma went there for having some sadhana, etc. They took it for granted this is Mahatma, and therefore they served for 6 months. They served for 6 months. You don't believe? I am a witness. I am witness. I'm telling you. The morning chapati and that brinjal vegetable, evening brinjal vegetable and chapati. Like Pujya Swamiji used to tell, dal and roti and dal. That's how it all happened. It happened that way to that Mahatma. But you will murmur. Why do you murmur? Why? Why? If the subtle body of a buffalo and the subtle body of a human being is same, buffalo doesn't murmur by eating grass and water, I should not also murmur. No, I will I will not eat this. Okay, then your mind is different from buffalo's mind. Subtle body always differs. Always will be appropriate to that particular gross body. Further, and human being respond to the external world in one way. Buffalo respond to the external world in different way. Octopus respond to the external world different way. From their behavior to the response, from the response to the external world, the behavior is lying in the response, giving a response to the external world. These scientists are studying the behavior pattern and they attach it to the particular psychology also. A behavior pattern differs from birth to birth. Well, further we will in the human beings also differ, but that's not a matter of right now a point that I will discuss later. But the in human being and other living beings, everyone has a very specific behavior towards the response of a response to the external world. And therefore, the Sthula Sharira responds, but definitely it is impelled by the mind of the subtle body of the particular living being. And therefore, Sukshma Sharira will be always in keeping with the Sthula Sharira. Further is this Sukshma Sharira is considered, it has been covered by a scientist in the theory of evolution. And either they have two theories, either a Darwin's theory or other say it's a natural selection, theory of a natural selection. Either evolution theory or either theory of a natural selection, whatever it may be, but they find a difference, a different degree of awareness starting from the amoeba to the human being. They find the evolution of the stages of awareness, degree of awareness differs in every living being. Amoeba is also aware of the world. A tree also is aware of the world. Goat also is aware of the world. Mosquito is aware of the world. And human being is also aware of the world. But extensively different. Extensive differences are there. When you go near with a big knife or a cheese, some kind of a axe, if you go with an axe near the tree will not try to run away. So it's its awareness towards the external world is entirely different. But suppose even an ant is there and you go near and it feels some kind of a fear, it tries to run away. That shows the awareness towards the external world is different in ant and even in the a tree or a plant. And they say then the monkeys are more aware. They are very near to the human being. Human being is fully aware of himself as well as fully aware of the world. And that's how it has brought a changes also. Whenever he finds a defect either in himself or in the world, he will bring a change because he is fully aware of it. And that's how they say human being has progressed very well. That's correct, very well. That's correct. And the monkeys also, you find this, the awareness towards the external world is more compared to other living beings. In monkeys also, you will find the gorilla have more awareness towards the external world compared to other monkeys. And you know very well, you might have seen also, and I have also recently I saw one YouTube, it's just a clip in which one gorilla picked up a soap from the house and they have kept it outside for some purpose. The soap was there. I don't know, the gorilla must have seen that person doing something with the soap, maybe taking bath outside or something. The gorilla picked up the soap, went near the body of a water, and it made it wet, the soap, and start applying like this. There is a video there. And you have also must have seen the gorilla takes a stick and they fight with the stick like the human being. So gorilla have that awareness of the external world much more than any other thing. So the degree of awareness is different in different births. Definitely indicates the subtle bodies are different, because subtle bodies are the mediums where the consciousness gets reflected. So depending upon the medium, the consciousness which reflects also will be in accordance with that. And as I given you the example, suppose 2 buckets of water are there in which the water is red in color and the other one is yellow in color, and the third bucket, suppose it is having a mud water, and in all the three the sun appears. In all the 3 mediums are different. Here there will be a red sun, here there will be a yellow sun, and here there will be a very dull sun. What I am saying is, so the degree of manifestation of the sun in 3 different mediums are different. And therefore, same way, the mind is a medium in which the consciousness gets reflected, and depending upon the mind, depending upon the medium, the consciousness which reflects also, that reflecting consciousness which we call jiva, etc., well, that also have a different degree of awareness. And human mind is such in which the consciousness is reflected fully manifest, let's say, and that's how I am a 100% self-conscious being. 100% self-conscious indicates I am fully aware of myself and I am fully aware of the world. And that is how we have a mirror and we have a comb and everything, and all so-called definitions of beauty, etc. also we have. No other living being has this kind of a thing. They don't have a mirror, etc. They don't require comb also, nothing. Because their awareness, they are aware of themselves. That's a very big gift by the God, so that the progeny can continue. They know that I am some kind of animal which the other sex belongs to. And they know that he is of the same kind. She is of the same kind, whatever. So that is how the progeny, etc. continues. They are aware of a hunger, thirst, etc. And they are aware of this, some little awareness they have about themselves. If they are fully aware of themselves, they also will definitely go to a tailor and get clothes stitched, and they will definitely wear. But they appear as they are, shows that they are not fully aware of themselves. Well, that shows the subtle bodies with the medium are different. And the same lion, if he dies and gets suppose a human body because of special punya we discussed yesterday, well, now the subtle body is in accordance with the human body and the consciousness manifests fully. The same jiva when appears in the human body, then he is fully self-conscious. Well, in that body it was not. Jiva was not fully conscious of himself. that shows the subtle bodies keep changing also, and they are in always in accordance with the gross body. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.